Good afternoon, everyone. This is Karam with BCI. I'm the supply chain manager here. My job is to make sure that your bales find homes, and there's a traceability system in place to track volumes at a global level. I'm really excited to be speaking to you. I'll be happy to answer all your questions later on during this webinar, and hopefully make the best out of our time together. Hopefully everybody is able to see my screen. I have a PDF up right now. It says standard setup. So what I want to do is tell you guys a little about what different options we have in terms of traceability system setup for different countries, and then I'll show you the system. The reason why I'm showing you what different types of options we have is because I received an email, I think it was originally sent to Corin by Arthur, asking to see if there are other options when it comes to the traceability system. So just to give you guys an overview of what we have available. For different countries, we have different setups for the traceability system. Our standard is we have the producers, the farmers and growers, and then we have our gins, and then the traders and spinners buy from the gin. Obviously, this doesn't fit Australia, but it does fit Pakistan, India, China, Turkey, where the ginner buys seed cotton and then produces the and sells the bales. For Australia and the U.S., the system setup is quite dramatically different than that. Simply because there is physical traceability already in place between the growers and merchants, and everybody's bales and modules are marked. So we felt that there's no need to include the gins here, as they never really take the chain of custody of the seed cotton or doesn't procure the seed cotton. But only gins it for the growers. So what we did is we developed this combined gin inventory here. As soon as the licensing is finalized, we add all the volume into this combined gin inventory. At the same time, we also add a list of all the Australian growers that received the license. We don't list their names. As Rick mentioned several times in today's webinar, we list their farmer codes, if you will, that helps the merchants identify their suppliers in our traceability system. And through this combined in inventory, the traders and spinners are able to receive these BCI credits. Another setup we have is this is the one for Brazil. We actually gave access to each of our, or an account to each of our growers and large farms, and then the traders and spinners directly receive the credits from individual farmers. So in this setup, every grower has a BCI traceability system account. This does give them more control over who receives the credits, and they have to do the verification and confirmation themselves, which means that they have to log into our traceability system and confirm the merchants or the mills purchase entries every time they make a BCI sale. So it's more work for the growers, but then again, it's a bit more control for them. For Brazilian growers, we don't have codes. We have the actual names of the growers in the traceability system, which makes this a viable option. So just wanted to give you guys tell you briefly the few options we have in terms of traceability setup. All of these options are available for Australia as well. The current system we have, we came up together with it with our friends at Cotton Australia, given the fact that some of the growers, they don't want their names to be listed, they don't want to directly use the traceability system. So as a result, we came up with what we have in place today. Right now, you should be seeing our training system. So what I'm showing you is what a merchant sees when they log into their traceability system. This is our training environment, but it's the exact same replica of the live system. The traceability system is basically a website where each of our stakeholders can go to, and those who have accounts, they log into their accounts, they enter their purchases and sales. Again, we keep referring to the system as a traceability system, but we do not trace physical bales. We only trace the volumes of BCI orders that are being procured and sold to different supply chain actors. On the right-hand side here, as you can see, we have instructions that we specifically generated for Australia transactions. For example, if I click on this one, it takes me directly to our online training environment where you can actually go through a set of slides that you can see here with voice over them. So any merchant who becomes a BCI member and wants to see how the system works can gain access to this online training platform and learn how the system works on their own at their own convenient time. This was a big improvement for us, to be honest, because until this year we've been delivering these trainings through webinars manually in person. But this year, any of our merchants, spinners, fabric mills, garment manufacturers can just go to their online training environment and learn how the system works on their own. At the same time, you can also download the same material in a PDF format by clicking on this link. And we have, again, special instructions for Australia, Brazil, CMA, US, pretty much any origin that our merchants trade from. Whenever there's a big change or some sort of a message I'd like to pass out to our merchants, this is where I usually write that. So keep an eye out for the welcome message. This changes from time to time. Transactions requiring action are those entries made by the merchant's customer. So if I'm a merchant, I can either enter a sale to one of my customers in this traceability system, or my customer could at the same time enter a purchase transaction. So these transactions between mills and merchants could be initiated by either party, but no matter who initiates it first, the other party has to confirm it. So this is one check we have in place to make sure that the transactions are correct and legitimate. So how it works for merchants is once you log into your traceability system account, first of all, if you click on your inventory, you can see how many BCI credits you have. For Australian merchants, please ignore the CMIA. CMIA origin credits, we trace them separately than BCI. Australia is under BCI. In this example, again, this is our training environment. You're seeing that this particular merchant has minus 397,000 credits, which means that they're short at the moment, and they have to be procuring about 400 tons of BCI to bring their balance to a positive number. We do allow our merchants and spinning mills to short their accounts up to 500 tons, so please be aware of that. We've given our merchants and mills this option just to make sure that there won't be any delays in sourcing BCI due to shipment dates or contracts being made between the parties. You can draw your account down to minus 500,000 kilograms, but if you do, you have 4 months to actually go and cover this position. Yeah. For our merchants under reports, you have this mass balance report, which shows your position according to origin. It's taking me a little while to generate that report, but again, because we have that mass balance with a country scope, we thought it would be fair to give our merchants this type of report that shows how many credits they have according to which origin. So on this one, you can see, for example, this test environment merchant has procured 10 tons of BCI from an Australian grower. They have so far sold 5,000 of it, and they have 5,000 BCI credits available. Again, each credit corresponds to 1 kilogram, so please keep that in mind. The inventory you're seeing is a reflection of the sum of all the available credits for short positions. Yeah. For purchases and sales, once you log into your account, you have to go to your transaction, and then for each purchase and sale, you have to click on Add a Transaction. After this point, I'm going to switch to the PDF files we have that I just downloaded from our traceability system, actually, just to go over it with you guys and make sure there's nothing unclear about those documents. But basically, the easiest way for me to explain how the system works is just answer the questions that the system is asking you. So if you want to import a purchase, is the purchase or sale? Well, it's a purchase. What's the country of origin? It's Australia. And then have you bought BCI from a farmer or a trader? You can select if you bought it directly from a grower. If you select farmer, then you have to receive their BCI codes from the farmer directly or from Cotton Australia and enter the code here. And then a number of BCCUs allocated to the shipment. Again, everything is in terms of kilograms, so if you bought 10 tons, you would have to enter 10,000. Yeah. So in different countries, obviously, everybody's speaking different languages when it comes to cotton. Some of you guys talk in terms of bales. Some of you guys talk in terms of pounds, kilos, whatnot. Unfortunately, our system is just based in terms of kilograms. So please keep that in mind. Once you input the information about for all the red star areas, you're actually done. But we have 2 more fields, optional fields, that you can input further information about your purchase. So, for example, this one could be description of product, where you can enter quality or specifications of the bales you bought, and then a transaction reference could be a contract number, for example, and you might want to include these just for future reference. If you want to go back to your transaction list and pull up all your purchases, you can identify easily, okay, this is the purchase I entered against this contract. If I go to that document I just downloaded from the traceability system, this is exactly what you would be seeing. In terms of finding out the list of BCI licensed growers in Australia, we have this list on Cotton Australia's website, and as well as our website, you can reach further information about Australia. Again, a screenshot of the actual system you can see here. The code has to be acquired from the grower themselves. I don't have the actual name of the grower and their code in our base. That's the point of giving the code to different growers. So please make sure to ask the grower or Cotton Australia for this code. Once you enter all of these details, obviously all you have to do remaining is to click on Save, and the system will give you corresponding credits, and they will be added to your inventory as soon as the transaction is saved. At the same time, the system sends Cotton Australia an email notification saying such and such merchant just entered a purchase from the grower with this code, and the volume was this, and Cotton Australia is responsible to verify that the transaction was indeed correct. If you bought the bales, Australian bales, from another trader, and you're a trader, again, just answer the questions. In this case, you would be entering a name of another trading company, which has to be a BCI member and has to be listed in our traceability system. Once you start typing their name, a list will show up here, and you can just select their name, and then the rest of the areas are pretty much the same. So you just click on Save. The system checks to see if that trader has enough credits for this transaction. If they don't, this is what you will be seeing, at which point you call your trader and say, hey, I just entered this transaction, but you don't have enough BCI credits. What's going on here? At the same time, you can also reach out to us if you see this not on your screen. This happens from time to time with spinning mills as well, and we receive some calls saying, I can't enter this purchase I made, can you help me out? This could happen from because of a timing issue. It's not the end of the world. It's nothing to be panicked about. It's just to show you guys that we have some checks and balances in place to ensure that you're not gonna, or the different stakeholders are not going to be able to receive a whole bunch of credits without the system verifying it. So if I just lower the number of credits to 10, I'm just trying to show you guys how it normally works. Let's pick up another trader here. Hopefully they have some credits. Again, my apologies. This is the test system, so I haven't checked everybody's inventory, but normally this is what you should be seeing. Transaction successfully saved. Now, this transaction is saved right here on top of the list. You can see what we just entered. It's awaiting for acknowledgement, basically because the other merchant that you just declared the purchase from has to log in and confirm what you just typed in before you can get those credits. In this other example, for example, this is an entry between the trader and the spinner, and it's for 50,000 credits. This will be listed. This is entered by the spinning mill, and it will be listed on your home page under transactions requiring action. You would just basically click on that transaction, see all the details that the spinner entered. Usually the spinning mills also enter a contract number and some sort of a description so you can match transaction in the system with actual shipments. And if everything is correct, you basically go to review, and you can just click on acknowledge this transaction, or you can just refuse it. Maybe the spinning mill selected your name by mistake, or you can just request a change and say, I don't know, please correct the volume. It's not 500 tons, it's just 50 tons. Once you click on this, that spinner receives a notification saying there was a request for change by the merchant, please make the necessary changes. And this is how the purchases work out. The sales are much easier, guys. You basically log in, go to transactions, click on add a transaction. Again, just answer the questions. This is a purchase or sale. This is a sale. What's the country of origin of bales you're selling? That's Australia. What's the mill's name? What's the buyer's name? Every spinner that's buying BCI cotton must be a BCI member and be listed on the system. So you will just start typing their name and then select it from the drop list. The number of BCCs allocated to the shipment is how many kilograms you're shipping. I'm just going to enter 10 so it doesn't get caught in the system again. Description of product, again, it could be quality, spec, detail, volume of better cut and replace. Please ignore this one. We will take out this option, that box, very soon. Transaction reference could be a contract number, just some sort of a number, or a bill of lading number, shipping number, just some sort of a number that will help you associate this entry with the physical shipment. Once you enter all the answers, simply click on save. The system will list this transaction as awaiting for acknowledgement. Again, the spinner has to log into their account and acknowledge the details you entered before they can receive your credits. And this is pretty much how the system works, guys. So do you have any questions about any of this?
Tim, do you have a question?
Yeah, actually I do. I just wonder, you mentioned that that you could short your account by up to 500,000 credits for a maximum of 4 months. So
Yes, sir.
what would happen in the unlikely event that you couldn't purchase BCI cotton or credits to counteract your deficit?
Yeah, the system after 4 months sends us an automated alert saying such and such member's account has been in the negative area for longer than 4 months. We would contact that member and once again bring it up to their attention that their account has been in the negative area for more than 4 months. It's not like we will automatically just shut down your account, which is usually what we do, but we normally first ask for an explanation and see if there are any orders in the works that you're maybe about to enter a big purchase to cover that position. So we're definitely following members' accounts. The system doesn't allow you to go below minus 500 tons anyway. So you don't have to block the account. You won't be able to enter any more sales after that point. And in terms of further action to take, again, we basically talk to our members and try to understand what's going on and be on top of it. But in terms of the system, it just wouldn't allow you to go beyond 500 tons.
Okay, thank you.
Really rarely happens that in minus area for more than 4 months.
Sure.
Yeah.
Questions before we finish up?
No, look, the only other thing I did want to ask, I already read the answer for, so whether we could get a copy of the PowerPoint presentation, and we see that we can. So no, thank you all. It's been very interesting.
Thank you very much.
And thank you everyone for joining us, and look forward to catching up with in the future. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks, Karim.
Yeah, thanks very much, Karim. Great.